Columbus sailed, others followed, and Spain is on the top of the world. Welcome to the Making of a Nation, American History in VOA Special English. In the United States, October 9 is observed as Life Erickson Day. It honors the Norse explorer who sailed around the northeastern coast of what we now call North America about 1,000 years ago. Leif Erikson and his crew returned home to Greenland with news of a place he called Vinland. Following his exploration, a few settlements were built. Experts digging in eastern Canada in the 1960s found the remains of a village with houses like those in Greenland, Iceland, and Norway, but the Norse did not establish any permanent settlement in North America. Today, as we launch our series from the beginning again, Sarah Long and Rich tell the story of early European explorers in North America. About 1000, Europe was beginning a period of great change. One reason was the religious war known as the Crusade. These wars were efforts by Europeans who were mainly Roman Catholic Christians. They wanted to force Muslims out of what is now the Middle East. The Crusade began at the end of the 11th century. They continued for about 200 years. The presence of European armies in the Middle East increased trade, which was controlled by businessmen in Venice and other Italian city-states. The businessmen were earning large profits by transporting and supplying the warring armies. When the European Crusade returned home, they brought with them some new and useful products. The product includes spice, perfume, silk clothes, steel products, and drugs. Such products became highly valued all over Europe. Increased trade result which led to the growth of town. It also created a large number of rich European businessmen. The European nations were growing. They developed armies and governments. These had to be paid for by tax from the people. By the 15th century, European countries were ready to explore new parts of the world. The first explorers were the Portuguese. By 1400, they wanted to control the eastern spice trade. European businessmen did not want to continue paying Venetian and Arab traders for their costly spice. They wanted to set up trade themselves. If they could sell to Asia directly for this product, the resulting trade would bring huge profits. The leader of Portuguese exploration effort was Prince Henry, a son of King John I. He was interested in sea travel and exploration. So he became known as Henry the Navigator. Prince Henry brought experts to his country and studied the science involved in exploration. He built an observatory to study the stars. Portuguese sea captains led their ship around the west coast of Africa, hoping to find a path to India and East Asia. They finally found the end of the African continent, the area called the Cape of Good Hope. It took the Portuguese only about 50 years to take control of the spice trade. They established trading colonies in Africa and Persian Gulf, India, and China. Improvement in technology helped them succeed. One improvement was a new kind of ship. It could sail more easily through ocean storm and wind. Other inventions like the compass permit them to sail out or outside of land. The Portuguese also armed their ship with modern cannon. They used this weapon to battle Muslim and East Asian traders. The other European nations would not permit Portuguese to control their trade for long. However, Spain, Queen Isabella and King Ferdinand agreed to provide ship, crew, and supply for an exploration by an Italian seaman, Christopher Columbus. Columbus thought the shortest way to reach the east was to sail west across the Atlantic Ocean. He was right, but he also was wrong. He believed the world was much smaller than it is. He did not imagine the existence of other land and other huge ocean area between Europe and East Asia. Columbus and a crew of 88 men left Spain on August 3, 1492 in 3 ships. On October 12, they struck on land again on an island that Columbus named San Salvador. He explored a nearby island of what is now known as Cuba and Hispaniola. He believed that they were part of the coast of East Asia, which was called the Indies. He called the people he found there Indian. Columbus left about 40 men on the island to build a fort from the wood of one of the ships. He returned to Spain with captured native birds, plants, and gold. Columbus was considered a nation hero when he reached Spain in March 9, 1493. Columbus returned across the Atlantic Ocean to the Caribbean area 5 months later. This time he had many more men and all the animals and equipment needed to start a colony on Hispaniola. He found that the protective fort built by his men has been destroyed by fire. Columbus did not find any of his men. 7 months later, Columbus sent 5 ships back to Spain. They carried Indians to be sold as slaves. Columbus also sailed back to Spain, leaving behind some settlers who were not happy with conditions. Christopher Columbus made another trip in 1498 with 6 ships. This time he saw the coast of South America. The settlers were so unhappy with conditions in the new colony. Columbus was sent back to Spain as a prisoner. Spain ruler burdened him. In 1502, Columbus made his final voyage to what some were calling the New World. He stayed on the island of Jamaica until he returned home in 1504. During all his trip, Columbus explored Iceland and waterways, searching for a passage to Indies. He never found it. He also did not find spice or great amount of gold. Yet he always believed that he had found the Indies. He refused to recognize that it was really a new world. Evidence of this was all around him. Strange plants that were not known in either Europe or Asia, and a different people who did not understand any language spoken in the East. Columbus' voyages, however, opened up the New World. Others later explored all of North America. You may be wondering about the name of this new land. If Christopher Columbus was the first European to attempt to settle the New World, why is it called America? The answer lies with the name of an Italian explorer, Amerigo Vespucci. He visited to the coast of South America in 1499. He wrote stories about his experience that were read in Europe. In 1507, a German mapmaker read Vespucci's story. He decided that the writer had discovered the New World and suggested that it be called America in his honor. So it was. Spanish explorers brought to find gold and power in the world, a new world. They also wanted to expand belief in what they considered to be true religion, Christianity. The first of these Spanish explorers was John Ponce de Leon. He landed on North America in 1513. He explored the eastern coast of what is now the southern state of Florida. He was searching for a special kind of water that people in Europe believed existed. They believed that this water could make old people young again. He never found it. Also in 1513, Vasco Nanza de Balboa crossed the Isthmus of Panama and reached the Pacific Ocean. In 1519, Hernan Cortes landed an army in Mexico and destroyed the empire of Aztec Indian. That same year, Ferdinand Magellan began his 3 years voyage around the world, and in the 1530s, Francisco Pizarro destroyed the Inca Indian Empire in Peru. 10 years later, Francisco Vasquez de Coronado had marched as far north as the Central American state of Kansas and west to the Grand Canyon. About the same time, Hernan de Soto reached the Mississippi River. 50 years after Columbus first landed in San Salvador, Spain claimed a huge area of America. The rest of this new land makes Spain the greatest power in Europe, but the other nations refused to accept Spain's claim to right in the New World. Explorers from England, France, and Holland also were traveling to North America. That will be our story for next week. This Making of a Nation program was written by Nancy and produced by Paul. This is Rich and this is Sarah. Join us again next week for another special English program about the history of United States.